All right, guys, welcome to PPC, better known as pay per click. This is where the magic happens, and this is where I really get excited because this is what makes or breaks the Amazon world here. So, first part to this section, we're going to be talking about automatic campaigns. This is what you want to set up first, okay? So here you'll see the Seller Central dashboard. You go up on advertising, start a new campaign. It's going to bring you to this screen. All right. So let's go ahead and name the campaign. Let's just put automatic test daily budget. I recommend starting the daily budget out at $10. Now remember, guys, don't start getting freaked out. Say, oh man, this is gonna be $300 a month, $10 a day. I don't have the money. We're gonna set it up that way. Amazon takes their advertising cost from the bi-weekly payout that you get from Amazon. So there's no upfront cost, and they're not going to take it monthly from a credit card or a separate account like Google AdWords would. All right, so let's start off with $10. And this is really a good, you don't want to start 20, 30, even if you can afford it and you have a little bit of money to spend. You want to start at $10 a day. That way it doesn't get out of control. Because with a lot of automatic campaigns, if you don't check them daily, you're not on top of them. Just like any lit fire, it can get out of control and it can spiral out of control. So you really want to tame the fire, be right on top of it, and check it daily. All right. So the start date, we want to click today. The end date, let's just put it for let's see here, 7 days. Run it for 7 days. And we'll talk about later about how long to run the auto campaign. I recommend it for 5 to 10 days to start off with, depending on the amount of impressions, the amount of keywords that you are gaining and you're obtaining. Depending on the niche that you're in and the product that you're using, you can get a crap load of impressions or you can get a small amount. So hopefully you're in a niche where you're getting a lot of impressions, but it's a low competition level. That's the ideal place to be. So let's go ahead and put 7 days, $10 a day. We're in at $70. They're going to take it from your bi-weekly payment. And you want to set up automatic. Make sure that this is clicked. Continue to the next section. All right. So you guys remember this this phony product that we made. You're going to go ahead and select your product. Go ahead and do your ad group name. Make sure you select your product. Here you're going to see default bid. It'll give you a suggested bid type based on the niche that you're in, the product that you're selling. Okay, you'll see the bid range is from 8 cents to $2.50. So you'll see this is a huge gap, and they'll give you an a suggested bid. What I recommend is going big, because you want to. The goal is not to become profitable right off the gate with the automatic campaign. The goal is to get a bunch of keywords and to monitor the keywords and see which ones are profitable, okay? And then to take them and implement them in your manual campaign, where you're really going to zero in and focus on your return on investment, your ACOS, which is your average cost of sale. That's terminology that you want to become familiar with, something you want to check daily. It's based off a percentage, the amount that you spend versus the amount that you sell, okay? And going off over what we talked about finding out where your profit is, if your profit's $10 and your ACOS is 30% and you're spending about $3 per click, then your profit's at $7. So you want to make sure you know your numbers. You want to make sure you know where you're at. But like I said, don't get too nervous. I know it's frustrating. I know it can become a little nerve-wracking, but we're not utilizing the automatic campaign to make a killing. We're using it to gather data. All right? So once you click that, with that being said, always go over what this bid range is. If it's $2.50, go up to $3. If it's $4.50, go up to $5. If it's $1.50, I always go up about 50 cents. And this way you're at the top of the poll, so you're not missing any keywords. All right? I've ran campaigns where 70% of the keywords were garbage. You're getting a lot of stuff that's not even relevant. So if you're selling a bathtub pillow, I've seen it where they throw it in bathtub cleaner. If you're doing phrase or if you're doing broad, so that's another reason why you want to be on top of it daily and be checking it, because you want to capture any of those keywords that are non-relevant and they're not beneficial and get rid of them right away, or even implement them as a negative keyword. Okay, if you're in the bath niche, you don't want to sell cleaner or something that may be associated with that phrase. All right. So after we put our default bid, we name the group, we select the product, go ahead and click Save and Finish. Now, boom, it's done. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, we're not going to have any metrics because we just clicked on this. I've seen metrics show up as early as 2 hours. I've seen some take as long as 2 days. Like I said, this all depends on the amount of impressions or the amount of visitors to that product in that niche. So don't become impatient. If a couple hours go by, a day goes by, you don't have any impressions, you don't have any data. Like I said, we want to run this from 5 to 10 days. All right. So we have our daily budget, we have our start and our end date, the targeting type, the status is running. For some odd reason, if this says it's not running or inactive, then you want to dig into it, maybe contact seller support, but I've never had one not become active. But definitely check this out, because if you're not getting impressions and it says that it is inactive, then that's the reason right there. So after you start to gain impressions and people start to click on the ads, you'll start to gather metrics, okay? So you'll see your spend. It'll let you know the total click charges for the campaign, or your CPC. Your total spend is going to tell you the amount that you spend on your CPC, which is the cost per click. Your sales is going to let you know the sales, and then the ACOS. So the ACOS is you can see the definition here. It tells you the total amount spent divided by the total sales times 100. It says that the ACOS is the percentage of sales that you spend on advertising. This is calculated by dividing total ad spent by total sales. All right. So what you spend, your sales, this determines your ACOS. So don't worry, guys, if we're in the automatic stage and this gets to 30%, 40%, 50%. Just keep monitoring it. Make sure you go into the campaign. All right, if you click on the campaign, all right, it'll show you suggested bid. It'll show you our bid. You go, there's nothing to generate right now, but you'll be able to download what's called a search term report. Give it a couple days, and after your impressions start to show, right, here's your impressions. This is the amount of people that click on your ad. The impressions is the amount of times that your ad is showed, and the clicks is the amount of times that they click on your actual ad. So if you're getting a bunch of impressions but no clicks, just hang on, give it a little bit of time. It may be because you're a new seller, you don't have any reviews. If not, if a couple days, 4 or 5 days goes by, then that means usually that your listing, your title's not optimized, or maybe your images aren't up to par. So, if you get 100,000 impressions and 10 clicks, you're doing something wrong. So after that 4 to 5 days, you can start to gather information on that. But after you get more clicks and more impressions, and this search term report is available, go ahead and download that. Then you want to grab that CSV file and open it in Numbers or Excel, whatever you utilize. Both of them are free, rather if you're on PC or Mac. And then you want to compare the different keywords. That's the point where you go into your keywords, okay, and you cancel them. So if you're going after bathtub pillow, and it's showing bathtub cleaner, that's a negative keyword. You want to get rid of that one. And you want to start taking the profitable ones and putting them on a notepad or an Excel spreadsheet or a number sheet, and gathering those and getting them ready for the third phase, the second and third phase, which is going to be keyword research in and outside of Amazon, and then ultimately the manual campaign, which is when you really work on zeroing down on that. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing really that you can do. You just have to give, just be patient, give it its time. Make sure you check it frequently. Make sure you check it daily. If this thing gets out of control, don't worry about it. You have your daily budget at $10, so you'll never spend more than $10. If it's not profitable, don't worry. That's why we start with a low budget. You need at least $10. If right off the gate you start the automatic campaign and you're able to you're able to categorize it and get it running and it is profitable, or your ACOS is below 35%, then slowly increase the budget. $2 a day, from 10 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20, and keep increasing it while running it, and maintaining that ACOS. And what's going to happen is you're just going to get more impressions, you're going to get more keywords, and it's profitable. So why not? A lot of people will say once you gather enough data for 1 week, 2 week, shut it off and go strict to manual. I have a couple where the automatic was complete. It was horrible. I was losing my butt. And then I also have a couple products where it maintained 30% ACOS and was capturing weekly different keywords that I was not using or I was unable to find. So if it's profitable, keep it running. And last thing I'm going to tell you once again is fight the urge to cancel the campaign. Don't expect off the gate that you're going to be profitable with the automatic campaign. It's a tool to capture keywords, to capture data. If it is profitable, if you can get it 30% and less ACOS, then you're winning. That's awesome. But if not, you don't suck at life. You're not doing anything wrong. This is very, very common because what happens is Amazon makes money. This is 100% ROI for them. They're not spending any money to show you or display you in their ecosystem. So they want to put as many keywords in that automatic campaign as possible so you get impressions, you get clicks, and they get money. So once you think about that terminology, then it starts to make sense as to why it's not profitable. And that also explains why you have to check it daily, because they can start throwing a lot of negative keywords in there that is not going to be beneficial for you. All right, so stay tuned for the next part 2, which is going to be keyword research.